recruiting 101 in the new digs.
Yes.
Don't tell nobody though. Don't tell nobody. ADG, Matt, Young Herd. We had a couple of weeks off, you know.
We did.
We did.
I think we all missed each other kind of sort of. The joke's still going.
Yeah. Me, you even got on the phone a couple times with jokes. Okay.
Yeah, progress. Progress.
We're working on it.
Yeah, so listen, we're sorry that we took a little vacation from you guys, but we're back dropping this knowledge because you guys asked for it. We got to get started with this Jamil Hill.
Okay.
So she writes an article basically saying that it's time for black athletes to get back to HBCUs. We know, I understood where she wrote the story from.
I did too.
I understood totally. A lot of backlash
Lots.
with it. I saw one person basically told her, listen, you didn't even go to a HBCU, so why
Did she go to
is it?
Michigan?
She went to Michigan State. She
Yeah.
went to Michigan State.
Yeah, she did.
Your initial thoughts, Matt, when you read Jamil's article?
I like you said, I understand what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say anything negative about her. Like, she really is like for the culture and for the people.
Right.
She spoke up for Colin Kaepernick at a time when a lot of people in, sports journalism, they weren't.
Right.
But as we all know, the opportunities for black athletes are not the same at HBCUs.
Right.
Because they are Power 5
Right.
schools.
Right.
And so the facilities are not the same at HBCUs that they are at Power 5 schools. And I know that she was saying that if you take the athlete, all of that would change, but who wants their kid to be the guinea pig in that? Right?
Right,
So that would
right,
take a while
right.
for it to turn over
Right,
for,
right.
a Clark Atlanta to be able to compete with an Oregon. That's
Right.
going to take some years.
Right.
So do you want to be the parent to send your kids to Clark Atlanta so they can start to have this trickling in of, power of 5-star athletes? Like,
Right.
which parent is going to take that on the chin?
Right.
Which kid
Right.
is going to take that on the chin?
I agree.
So I understand her sentiment. I really do, and I appreciate, at least she's giving it a voice and we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how realistic it is.
Your thoughts, Wendy?
So one, this isn't the first time we've had this conversation.
Right.
I
right.
think somebody else a couple people have written
Yes.
articles or have even maybe not even written articles, but have come out like on Twitter or something
Right.
like that and made a comment about
Right.
it. And so I agree with Betty that what we have to look at is opportunity.
Right.
And so many of our HBCUs aren't even able to provide the type of scholarship offers that they can provide
Right.
at these Power 5 schools.
Mm-hmm.
Like the checks that they're getting.
Mm-hmm.
That they're not even able to, they don't even have the number of scholarships at some of them that they have at these Power 5 schools.
Right.
And I just think it puts them at a disadvantage. Yeah, we can move kids, but like you said, who wants their child to be the guinea pig?
Right.
I don't want to be the test
Right.
or the test
Right.
dummy,
Yeah.
for
Right.
that matter.
Right.
And so I think she wrote it with very good intentions.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not going to happen in the
not.
foreseeable
Yeah.
future. Because you got to think facilities, access, travel. All these things that those schools are able to do, even with basketball, you see them traveling to different countries to go and do like preseason games
Right.
and stuff like that. Those opportunities are not there because the budget isn't.
Right.
And so a lot of times, and I know someone's going to get mad at me about this, but a lot of times you see a lot of misappropriation of funds in some HBCUs. Not all the time, but
Right.
sometimes you see
Right.
misappropriation. And I'm not saying it don't go on PWIs. It does.
I'm a living witness.
They probably
Yeah.
sweep it up under the rug
My-
or
my
they
alma-
hide it.
My alma mater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so what
yeah,
happens
yeah.
is they get into this turmoil. And so even I can just give an example. I was at Tuskegee not too long ago, and my brother-in-law is down there. He's the head baseball coach. He's down there doing his own field over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's got the engineering students helping him do the field over. Great idea because it's keeping his costs down, right?
Right.
But I looked over there at the shed, which is right down from the baseball field, and it still looks the same that it did like 20 years ago. And I'm
Right.
like, are you going? They still have a grass field. And I'm like, you know, when are you going to update your facilities?
Right. Right.
And so that is, you know, you got to think when people go on a visit, they have an opportunity to go to, say, a Tuskegee, and then they also get to go visit, Georgia Tech, Georgia Southern.
Georgia
And you're
State.
able to see the facilities. Your frame of reference is
Right.
very different,
Right.
and what you're looking at, and so they're kids. They're going to choose what looks better. It's like, you know, looking at Nike and a Reebok. They're gonna take the Nike probably over the Reebok unless the Reebok is just their style.
Right.
And so I just think that in the foreseeable future, close.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna-
You'll get one or two kids that'll go there, one because their parents went there.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, kids make it out and go to the league. They do.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
do. But not the numbers they make it out of the other schools.
Yeah.
Like, you just gotta
That's,
get your
that's
pull.
honest. That's honest.
So for me, every year these articles usually come out right before the season.
Yeah.
You know, you get it right. You'll get something like this right before football season and right before basketball season, because those are the sports that are predominantly dominated by African American athletes. So, and what Jamil was basically trying to say, our kids generate the money to
Definitely.
these schools. So, say if a Zion Williamson
Like,
and RJ Barrett say, listen, we're going to FAM, what would the revenue be at a FAM?
Right. I mean, that's honest.
But at the end of the day, we talk about shiny things all the time. When kids go on recruiting trips, they're wowed by facilities.
Yeah.
They're wowed by uniforms. They're wowed by just the way these campuses look.
Right.
And like you were just talking about, a lot of these kids play on field turf.
Coming from high school.
Coming from
High
high
school.
school.
Nice field turf.
Yes.
And now I'm
High
going to a
school.
situation where I'm playing on grass,
Yeah.
or you know the grass is gonna die.
It
and it's
look
gonna,
bootleg grade.
right.
Right.
So I mean, I get the premise, and maybe one day it will be a 5-6 year stretch
Right.
where a lot of kids will get together and say,
Mhm.
you know what,
Right.
we're all going to HBCUs.
Yeah.
But for the foreseeable future, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would have
and
to be a concerted effort.
Right.
It would have to be a
Right.
group of kids to say,
Right.
Hey,
let's
this is
do
what we're
this.
about to do.
It would have
we
to
about
be-
to try this.
Right.
And
We're about
see-
to pull this off.
Social
Right.
experiment.
And
Right.
see the thing about, and I think it would probably work better and quicker in basketball.
For sure.
Because if you get
Smaller
4 of
numbers.
the top kids
Right.
to
In
all
one
say,
program.
we're going to North Carolina A&T,
You good.
you
Right.
good.
You can be dominant.
'Cause- right. So you would dominate the MEAC, and then you would get an automatic bid
Yeah.
to the tournament,
Right.
and you make a run.
Right.
I mean, and so, you know, even this is so funny. You know, I have 2 kickers that I've worked with, a kicker and a punter,
Mhm.
that were at Langston at Morehouse. You know, they come over to Banneker now
Mhm.
because they say our facilities are better than the facilities.
crazy.
And I'm looking at Banneker's facilities like, oh, we got so much, not our field, that's new, but like our weight rooms. I'm thinking
Right.
we have so much more work to
Right.
do to make it look like
Right.
what I think it should
Right.
look like. And they're saying, no, this is way better than what we have. And I'm thinking, Morehouse has plenty of money. They have to,
Yeah.
right?
But it's where do
Where they
put
spend
the
it.
money.
And so that's another issue.
Yeah.
Like, you know, at the PWIs, they put the money back in athletics because that generates the
Well, that's what generates
money.
most money. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas the HBCU may build a new building on campus
Right.
or new housing on
Right.
campus.
Right.
That's not generating more revenue.
Right.
Right.
And BT
Right.
Harvey Stadium will continue to have grass when they should have field turf, or they should have.
Or they
lighting
should
fence.
have, I mean, because you know, somebody was telling me like the dude that's the NCAA guy for grass makes over like $100,000 a year doing grass and stuff. So I'm like, hold on, where?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You cut grass for $100,000?
I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can learn.
What, John Deere?
Hey.
I can edge.
So,
Can I be the
so
edger?
you know, so it becomes one of those things. Like I say, I understood what Jamil was coming
Yeah.
from.
I got it.
was
I got
very
it.
Yeah, I totally understood it, but it was like the response and the backlash she got. It was like, listen, we know pretty much kids are going to always want those
Yeah,
dream
yeah.
schools first, and then at a certain point, reality will set in. But for the most part, like your big time kids, they're all thinking NFL, NBA,
First.
so they want to go to the places that's going to give them the best
Best
opportunity to go to those spots.
And then as a parent, am I going to take my kid? We're all going on a recruiting trip, right? And so my kid is a top level kid. So he can go, we go to Georgia Tech or, you know, I don't know, Clemson, I'm just throwing something out there. And then we go to Tuskegee.
Yeah.
As a parent, I'm thinking to myself, hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So
You
I'm
driving
supposed to,
up.
right?
You like, I'm supposed to
to try to convince my child to take
Hey, leave
this
my baby.
over
After
this.
these other two.
Like my niece goes to Spelman, they don't have air in their dorms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And
don't tell me you don't have money. And I just like this whole thing of, you know, it's the HBCU way, you know, you tough it out. No,
No.
like
Right.
it's 2019.
Right.
In
It's
the
hot.
South, and
Yeah.
it's hot. Like
Right.
it's things like that as a parent, could you really look your child in the face and say, you know, take one for the team. You about to, you know, uplift the culture,
Right.
and we're gonna do it on your back. Like, how many parents would
I'm not
really do that for their
Because when
child?
kids had the opportunity, I think my senior year, we took my trip. I did Florida State and FAM in the same day. So Florida State played the 12 o'clock game. So we went to Florida State's game first, toured the facilities, all of these things.
Wow.
And then that night we went to FAM.
Y'all ready to go.
I mean, it was night and day.
It's night and day.
It's night and day. You know, I always think about the weight rooms and like just the meal, pregame meal at Florida State. And we got to tour the locker room. And when we went to FAM that night, you just like walked in the locker room and you were like, whew,
Right.
like, man,
Right.
this tough.
And like you all were saying earlier, for most of these kids, their high school facilities are better.
No doubt.
Their
No doubt.
high school facilities
No
are
doubt.
better than their
No,
that's,
doubt.
that's
No
not,
doubt.
as a parent, you're just not going to put your kid in that situation. So
Yeah.
I think if she took it from the avenue of what can we do to help HBCUs
Right.
come up
Right.
They
so
can
that these
Right.
they're
kids
able to attract.
right, now we can recruit these kids. Come on, celebrities, big name donors.
Yeah.
What can we do for these
Yeah.
schools?
As opposed to playing those money games where your school getting beat like 82-0.
But you get the
Right.
money, but what are you doing? Like, what exactly have you done? Like, what are you putting?
Besides kill the morale of your kids.
Right.
Because I
And
mean, did you build a
risk
weight room when you came back?
Yeah.
That was a state of the art,
What
so
did
that
you
you
do
can
with the
build
money?
your kids
Right.
up so that they are able to compete.
Right.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, you have to. You got to come back and do something that's going to elevate your program with the
Right.
money. It
Right.
can't be to hire additional staff. It can't be to buy a uniform, an extra uniform, or an extra
Right.
helmet. It has to be something that can help elevate your program. A weight room.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Some type of facility that can help your program.
Right.
Definitely has to be a weight room because that's
Well, that's where it starts.
Yeah,
But that ends up helping everyone.
Right.
no doubt. But
But I think her article, we have to move away from guilting the athlete.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right?
totally.
They're
totally.
guilting the athlete. Why don't you guilt donors, guilt the alumni to give more money?
Miss the
Right.
people,
Right.
the people that are there, the person that's
guilt
there
them.
because
Stop
he's asking for the
guilting-
donations.
Right, stop guilting the kid. Like I'm
Right.
so tired of seeing athletes being guilted for making decisions that's good for them when we all do that.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
single person walking the face of the earth makes decisions that's good for him or her. And yet when athletes do it, oh my God, it's an abomination. No, it's not. It's life. Because if you were in that same situation, you would do the same thing. You
Yeah.
can talk a mighty game that you would, but you would.
Yeah.
And so
For
here
sure.
we're guilting 17-year-old kids and 18-year-old kids. Go somewhere.
For wanting better.
Stop.
For wanting better.
Right.
That's
For
what
wanting
basically what
better.
you're wanting
Right.
Especially when they have the opportunity. Most kids, if the Power 5 and the HBCU are on the table, listen, they're gonna take the Power 5. Now they might get to the Power 5 in a couple years. Oh, I can't play, or I can't
Right.
fit. Then I transfer. But for the most part, the shiny stuff that we like to always talk about, they gonna do it.
And what would you do when you were 18?
Come on now.
I'm like, Jamel, you went to Michigan State.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock against you. That was the choice you made as a
Right,
youngster.
right.
Yeah,
They
right.
put you in
Right.
the best
They put
situation
you
to
in the best-
advance your
Right.
Career.
right.
Point blank
Right.
period.
So, Jamil, we rock with you.
We do.
We rock with you, Jamil.
We get it.
I'm moving to our next topic. California Assembly. They're getting ready to pass SB 206, which states that NCAA athletes in the state can profit off of their likeness. I like this.
Hey.
I like this. You're not giving the kids.
Yeah.
So we say we can't pay the kids.
Right.
In today's society, a lot of kids are high-profile kids, especially, are coming on campus as a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Zion Williamson has more Twitter and Instagram followers than Duke University.
That's crazy.
How much money did Duke make off Zion Williamson
Right.
for one semester?
Right.
So I like what the state of California doing. Wendy, your thoughts on this?
You know how I feel about this.
Talk about it. Talk
I
about it.
love it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's only fair.
it's only fair.
Like these schools are making so
Hand over fist.
Money.
Hand over
And
fist.
at coaches.
And really, that's why they're recruited there.
Mhm.
So that the school can make money, the coach can get their bonuses. That's why they stand on the table for them. And so, with that in mind, why can't they? Like let these people be great.
Yeah.
Let these kids be great, because just so many of them come from crazy situations, and so like it's fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
Now the question is it gonna go across the board?
As
Will it
far
be for
as-
everybody? Because this is in California right now, right?
Yeah.
But will it apply?
Will it trickle down to other states?
Yeah.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. Like, to
California's-
me,
yeah.
California, they're a little forward thinking
They're
out there,
very forward thinking.
all day long.
Very.
But the NCAA did kind of step in today, and they were like, "Listen, we think this crazy." But of course, the
Of course
NCAA
you
thinks
will.
crazy.
You-
But they
everybody
can't
make
control
no
the money.
sense.
because they can't control
They
it.
can't-
They have no
Make no
control
sense.
over
We don't
it.
listen to the NCAA.
Matt, talk about it.
So I'm like, make your money, honey. Like, I think it's fantastic. It's not saying that they're getting paid to play,
Right.
right? They're getting paid for their likeness, who they are.
Right,
Their image
right.
is being used somewhere. Everybody's making money off of my image.
Right.
For me, that's not fair.
Right.
So it only makes sense. And the only reason why this is an issue is because it goes back to what we were saying earlier about it being basketball and football. Who are the majority of athletes in basketball and football? Black males,
Mhm.
right? If these were other sports, this would not be an issue.
Right. Right. Right.
So because now these kids have an opportunity to make some money, make your money. It is unfair. It's really immoral
Yeah.
Mhm.
for everybody to get paid. And we're not saying like they're not thousandaires from
Right.
this. Like,
Right.
these people are millionaires from these kids and what they do. And like we said earlier, they're only getting paid from the idea of using their likeness. And people always argue they get paid from their scholarship. These are people who never were athletes,
Right.
but who they don't know what these kids put on the line every day to be out there on game day. So I think it's only fair. I think it's past due. I think other states need to follow suit. I think that it's going to make California a recruiting hotbed. The kids are going to want to go there for that reason. So I think that, the California Assembly has done schools in California a huge service in helping them. They've helped UCLA, they've helped USC, USC, to get more athletes to want to come.
Right.
Because now I know, oh, okay, I can make some money.
Yeah.
And
It would be.
they use
It'll
it?
definitely be a
Okay.
recruit too.
Right.
I always like to tell people, and I had to pull it up. So for the 2 years that Johnny Manziel was the starting quarterback at Texas A&M, Texas A&M made $120 million. They were able to upgrade facilities like crazy. They hadn't raised that much money since the school been there.
That's insane.
And even when Johnny Manziel was suspended, the top selling jersey on the NCAA website was Johnny Manziel's number 2 jersey. That's the jersey you pulled up on the NCAA website. NCAA suspended him, but
But they're making money.
they're making money off of him.
Right.
So again, you're talking about elite athletes. People are turning on the TV to see these guys. When we were at Clemson for opening weekend, every vendor had a Trevor Lawrence jersey. Every student walked by either had on a Trevor Lawrence jersey or a Deshaun Watson jersey. Is Trevor Lawrence benefiting off that? No. But Dabo makes $8 million a year. They just finished, and of course you finished it still before Trevor got there, but you're going to be able to probably build something else because of what you're raking in from Trevor. When Trevor took the field, y'all, this was so crazy. When he took the field, the student section went crazy.
What?
As soon as he ran down, he runs out. He run by the student section. He got the hair flowing. He hit him with that one time, and like
It was over.
they went crazy.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
That's
you're sitting there saying, "Come on now,
Right. He's a star.
he's a star."
He's the star.
And most quarterbacks on these campuses, listen, every other picture at Clemson was Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Right.
Every other picture.
Right.
That will probably be replaced by Trevor Lawrence at some
right.
point. But the fact of the matter is, 16-4, you're making a killing off of it. If we go on the website now of any school, whoever the starting quarterback is, his jersey is up.
Right.
So come on, NCAA stop.
So this is the thing, it won't go into effect until 2023.
Right.
The NCAA is about to fight this, y'all.
Oh, no doubt. Like,
I just want to throw that out
Of
there. So
course.
I don't want people to think I'm going to California to school next year and think that you guys will benefit, because that's
Of course.
kind of not how that
Right.
works.
Of
Right.
course.
It's slated for January 2023, which if it were to go into effect, but right now the NCAA is going to fight. They already wrote
They gonna
that
fight it.
327
Right.
word
Yeah.
essay,
Yeah.
asking him to veto it.
Yeah.
But California changes things. Like, because of California, they changed the SAT, changed the test.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they said, hey, you know what? Analogies are stupid and it's not fair. So we're not going to require our students who are applying to California schools to take the SAT. And the College Board was like, hold up, that's money. They changed the
money.
test.
They changed
So as you said earlier, California is forward thinking. And
Very
it
much so.
goes back to, I remember, I think it was on Real Sports, but I also pulled it up, Ed O'Bannon, right? And when he
Yeah.
sued EA Sports,
Yeah.
I remember him saying, I was playing with myself.
Playing with myself.
I was
And
playing
that's
with
why we don't
myself.
have
And that's why we don't have,
we don't have NCAA college
Right.
basketball or football.
yep, because they had to pay all those athletes for using their likeness.
Yeah.
I think it said that they paid out $60 million in settlements,
Mhm.
and they stopped the game.
Yeah.
But can you imagine, like, you're playing a game
Yeah.
with yourself and you're
But
not
you're not
getting
getting
paid.
any profit off of it.
But everybody
But they
else
got
is
your
getting paid.
whole,
And they
big
would-
old image up
Right.
But
there.
they would tell you it's just the number. The name not on the jersey.
Right.
But I know that's me.
But that's how I
Right.
move.
I was 31. So 31 for UCLA.
But you know, in college,
and he
they're
left
selling
handed.
a jersey with your name on the back.
Yeah, they will. You're gonna pay
Yeah,
more
yeah.
money for it.
Yeah, but you can get one.
Oh yeah, that was
But
saying
the
you're
kid
gonna
is not. No one is getting any, and then what jersey you're buying.
oh,
Like
no
I
doubt.
said.
Like I say, show me somebody else who if I ask you who was 16 at Clemson, and you can't tell me in the bookstore, oh that's Johnny Lane.
Right.
No, that's Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
That's Sunshine.
And
That's what I'm saying.
the
That's what I'm
schools not only do they make money that way, but we all know, like, admissions, the kids applying to the school goes up.
But
Alabama they're on a high trend because they win every year. So
they
more
win
kids are
every year.
applying.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
Clemson won, more kids applied to
Yeah.
the school.
Yeah.
So they went all the way around, and it's on the backs of the athletes. And we have to, I think what's happening, and this is, kudos to social media, the narrative is changing around the athlete.
Mhm.
So before it was the needy kid.
Mhm.
We're helping out the needy kid.
Yeah.
Look, we're giving you a scholarship to Crumbs. Take this. You should be happy.
Right.
Look
Yeah.
where you come from.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore.
Nah.
So now you have kids who are coming from something.
Yeah.
And they're playing. So the scholarship is the scholarship, but I know my worth. These kids are much more intelligent now. The parents know more. So we understand, or parents understand, and the kids understand the game that's being played more so now today than ever before.
And we're gonna recruiting 101. We're gonna take a lot of credit for that because we educate.
Hey.
Hey. So, recruit reminder for our people, and this one tore me up today because it kills me talking to these parents. I have to remind them this. So, consider more than your sport and uniforms when making your college decision.
Oh,
So many times you hear kids talk about their uniforms fire. They wear Nike.
They wear Adidas.
I like when they wear this combination.
Look at their helmets.
they fresh.
That's not the only reason you're trying to pick a school.
It
Well,
shouldn't be.
I hope
It shouldn't be the only reason.
because it's more to it than like the kid I was talking to today that brought this on. I'm like, who's the head coach at the school? You gotta tell me who the head coach was. And I'm like,
Oh.
how are you so in love with this school and you don't even know who the coach is?
Oh no.
Talk about it, Matt. Talk about it.
Oh wow. Okay. So he didn't know who the coach was.
He didn't know who the head coach at this school that he's so in love with because their uniforms are so fresh.
This goes back to what we were saying earlier about the shiny.
No doubt.
Right? So we like the shiny. Last night on ESPN, they had a special about college football and just the culture and how Oregon changed the game because they branded themselves.
Right.
And how they came out with the uniforms and the helmet and being clean, and like how Nike had a lot to do with it. So Oregon made it cool, and it made they made kids want to look a certain way, right? And so now that's just a part of the culture. You have a few schools where it is what it is. Alabama gonna be Alabama. Penn State gonna look like Penn State. Clemson gonna look like Clemson. But most other schools are really trying to brand themselves a certain way through the uniforms, through all the flashy, because that's what kids like, because that's a way to pull them in. Alabama doesn't have to do that, right? Penn
Nope.
State refuses to do that because that's their tradition. But these other schools who are doing it, the kids love it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So
right.
that's the Instagram, that's the Snapchat, that's going on the visit and taking my pose in the uniform, even though I haven't met the coach yet.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So
right.
I don't know who the coach is, but I'm having a uniform and I'm having a chrome helmet, so I'm clean.
I'm fresh to
Right.
death.
So as a parent, that's what we gotta step in.
Right.
You gotta step in and say, hold up, sucker. Like, wait a minute now, Roller. As my father-in-law would say, hold up, Roller. Like, let's go to our checklist, as Wendy
Right.
always says. Let's go to the checklist.
Shout out Coach Gus.
Because the checklist, when you're on the visit, you're gonna get caught up in the emotion. The checklist keeps you sane.
Keeps you sane. I love it.
So that's the parent.
I love it.
That's on the parent. The kid doesn't know the coach. That's what a parent. That's when mom and daddy got to step in and say, hold up, Roller.
Yeah.
Let's look at the checklist.
Cause boy, coach might not even. Yeah. Talk about it, Wendy.
Well, and so this goes back to why I encourage people to make like checklists and/or a spreadsheet, and so you can compare and think about all these different things that will, in the grand scheme of things, matter to you. If football is or any sport is taken away from you, I think that people get so caught up in the moment of what it looks like, what appearance is, what their friends are gonna say, what their relatives are gonna say, family, all that stuff, that they sometimes forget, why am I going to this school in the first place? And that's why I always, always, like, they're like, oh, athletes. I'm like, yeah, they're student athletes.
Right.
Like, I refuse to let anybody call them in my school athletes. I'm like, they're student athletes because, without this other piece, there's nothing. So, like, them making sure that their college decision will be someplace that they can actually sustain. So somewhere they'll be happy to say that they went. Somewhere where they can go and make lifelong friends. I mean, that's where a lot of my friends came from that I still communicate with are from college. I got some from high school, but I got some from college too. And so, I just think that parents have to weigh in heavily. And it's hard to do that because you don't want to make a decision for your child, but you also want to make sure that you're steering them in the right way of decision making.
Right.
And so a lot of kids at that age aren't able to really clearly make a decision still. I mean, I hate to say that, but you're looking at 17, 18-year-olds, and they're trying to make a lifelong decision, basically for their future.
Right.
And they're thinking their future is sport.
Right. Right.
Let's just be honest. They're thinking that their future is sport. And we already know that most of them aren't going to make it
Right.
to the next level.
Right.
They're not. Because the statistics say that they won't. Because why? There's not enough teams, there's not enough roster spots.
Right.
Like, the statistics say that you're not going to, you can't.
The higher the level, the smaller the numbers.
Right.
percentages
And
go.
so the thing is, you can't. Like, it's not physically possible for everybody to make it. But
Right.
everybody goes to college, I'm sure, saying, I want to play at the next level.
Right. Right.
You have a few that are like, I'm done after this. But most do.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's a part of parenting, keeping them grounded. I mean, luckily for me, I don't have to deal with that. I mean, my kid's gonna be looking at a swimsuit and a soccer uniform and some cleats. And a lot of them like to wear whatever cleats they like to wear when they get there, and so that's what they're gonna continue to buy. It doesn't matter what the team gives them. So I just think that with basketball and football, it's just it's what they project. That's what you see. The kids, they put on social media. This is what we got for going to this game or this event. After tournaments and stuff. And so that's what kids are seeing. And so they want those things, and so they get wooed in by those things. You gotta remember your purpose. Your purpose is to go and get an education.
And
some you can do it in the long run, because none of that, I don't care if you do make it. It's gonna last forever.
That's right.
And the thing about it, the ball's gonna stop dribbling. You're gonna play your last play at some point. And
so
you
what
have
you
to
gonna have?
right, because you have to think, even if you
better have alumni.
go to the NFL, NBA, NFL. Average career is 3 years.
Yeah.
So you graduate college at 22.
Yeah.
You're done at 25.
And a lot of
maybe
them are
26.
making a little above league minimum. That's what people need.
Right,
Yes,
right,
You
right.
got some people that are those cap people, but you got a whole
Right.
bunch of people that say they're making
Right.
$485,
Vast
Right.
majority.
which is good money.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
But that's not that.
You can't sustain off of that for 3 years.
It's not,
It's not
it's
long
not
lifetime.
generational.
It's not generational.
Not generational money.
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's not.
And so for me all the time is just reminding the kids the greater purpose. Get that degree. Put yourself in a situation that if anything happens, because I think one of the things kids realize when they go to college, They start understanding. Now they really get to see what politics about.
Yeah.
Now, like say, Coach, I told you what I need to tell you to get you here, but you know, it's 12 of you here.
Right. So what are you gonna do?
Who is the best?
What are you gonna do?
And the 4 best, 5 best gonna play, or if let's play quarterback, the best guy's gonna play. And he's gonna be there for administration. He's gonna be there 4 years, and then it moves on to somebody else.
That's right.
So, you know, and I really don't think so. What I had to tell this young fella today, I'm like, do you understand how hard it is to play college sport at any sport at the next level?
Yeah, at any school.
Any school, regardless if it's D1,
D3.
FCS, D3,
Yeah.
D2, right? Because what you're gonna find out when you get there, listen, somebody else got the same dream you got,
Sure do.
And
what?
some people are built for it.
Yeah.
And some people are
And
not.
what you find out, you start questioning, how much do I really love this?
Right.
How much do I love this? Because this dude right here, like, this is only way out.
Right.
I got options.
Right.
So he love
I'm
it.
good.
So
Right.
he love it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I do need to get this degree. I need to get out of here and start thinking about what I'm gonna do with the next half of my life.
Right.
So parents, we have to do a better job of managing expectations. Gotta manage it. So Wendy, it's time for wisdom.
It is.
Yeah, it's time for wisdom.
Right, we're gonna do all of these.
Yeah, well now we will have, once this gets up and running, you will have your music.
So actually, really quick, what I want to talk about, because you know, school year just started. We're about a month into the school year. So really, what I want to talk about is like what you should be doing right now, because I think I have to reiterate this around this time every year, because for some reason, from year to year, the kids forget.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I have to tell my kids, the parents forget. You know what do you need to be worried about right now today?
Right.
And so one of the things I want to talk to the parents about is staying on your kids about their academics, because right about now they've gotten comfortable. They may have taken their first test, they may have taken their first quiz, but you know, they've gotten comfortable. They're in class with their boys, or their friends are cut. Some of their friends may be cut in class, and so they want to go do the things with their friends. And so I just want to remind parents, stay on your kids about like what, you know, why you're at school. Why are you there?
What's the mission?
What is your mission? What is our goal? Because here's the thing. I keep telling y'all, if you don't make those grades, you won't be playing anywhere.
That's right.
Without a doubt.
You know, I don't care what kind of academic advisor you have, what kind of counselor you have, what kind of coach you have. If you don't have some things lined up academically, it's not going to happen for you anyway. And so you want to make sure you put yourself in the best position possible so that you have all the choices that you want to have to make regarding this decision. So, and then for the kids, just really quick, I want to tell you all, like, stay focused. It's a lot of peer pressure in high school. You know, things, we talked about this before, how smoking weed or marijuana has just become so popular. It's like a cigarette now, you know what I'm saying? And so kids are doing it. Some schools now are, high schools are starting to drug test. So
they definitely drug test in college.
yeah, but well, that's the other part. They're gonna drug test when you get there. So
Without
you
doubt.
know, don't think that you can bypass this.
they're
But
gonna
you
hit you
know,
with a
some
random.
high schools are starting. Right, it's random. High schools are starting drug tests, and so you just don't want to put yourself in a position where you could jeopardize something before you even make it to the level that you really want to try and make it to. And that's all peer pressure. But don't let your friends, you know, talk you into doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing.
Right, that's gonna cost you.
It's gonna cost you. I mean, and whatever that is, if it's cutting school, it all being in somebody's house, and then something goes down, now it's on the news. You just don't want to put yourself in that. You don't want to be in a car accident. You don't want to put yourself in that position. And so, you know, I encourage kids to kind of. I had to talk with a kid today. You know, think through the process. They cut school, went to go get some chicken wings. Well, you got caught by your coach because coach left campus, which is fine, but you got caught because you was walking. You know what I'm saying? And so now you've got to sit out a game and you mad and your parents calling mad, but you know, in reality, wait a minute, we haven't addressed the problem.
Right.
You got in school. You
What
actually
you mean?
should be suspended.
Right. I mean, you could have got hit by a car.
Right.
Walking
And
to go
then,
get
and then
wings.
how do we,
Then
and that's what I always tell them, right, it's the school's fault, because the way you didn't know my kid was gone.
Right.
And so, like, you know, I told the kids today, I was like, I never want to have to make the phone call to the parent to say, hey, it's an emergency. I don't want to have to make that phone call. And neither does the principal. And so we say all that to say, you know, just think things through. You know, if I leave, something may happen. Like, is that like the decision I really need to make today? You know, I got a game on Friday. If I get caught, you know I ain't playing on Friday. You know,
Right.
and so is that your goal? Is your goal to not play on Friday? 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna tell you that's not their goal.
Yeah.
9.9 times, that's not their goal.
Right.
And
And
it's
so-
funny you say that because you're sitting here like, you say you love the game.
Yeah.
You say you want to play. And you know the
You
rule is,
jeopardizing.
if
Right.
I cut school, I can't play.
Right. And so, granted, your
Stop.
coach caught you this time. Did your coach go back and tell, did your coach call your parent and just deal with it accordingly? Because a lot of times that happens because a lot of times it's more beneficial for us to punish you on the athletic end than to punish you on the school end.
Right,
Too.
right.
Because some kids don't care if you get suspended from school. I mean,
Right,
I want to
that's
be,
a
I
vacation.
want, it's a
I
vacation.
ain't wanna
No.
come anyway.
And so I encourage, just the kids, just think things through. Think about what your purpose here. Your purpose here, for most, is to be on that field on Friday night or, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday for basketball or volleyball, whatever it is. Your goal is to be playing. So don't jeopardize your playing time by not doing your work, one, and two, by doing something outside of the school or leaving school or doing something at the school that could just jeopardize that for you. Because right now we in that time they've gotten comfortable.
Mhm.
I see it happening already. The kids that were going to class that first, everybody go to school first 2 weeks.
Oh,
They
yeah.
go to class. They go to
Yeah.
class the first 2
Yeah.
weeks. Then they get comfortable and they're like, oh, I know how to slide out of here already.
Yeah.
October they lose their minds.
Oh, yeah. October is like, it's
October's the
high,
worst
it's high
month. Yeah.
discipline.
It is.
In high schools.
October's the worst
You
month.
know that. You was working
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's high discipline. So I just, parents, right now is that time. It's like to get that real
Yeah.
and like start tightening it up. Just being more active, knowing what's going on, and asking questions. Asking questions. Be on your kids' social media.
Yeah.
Cause I see stuff that's posted, in high school. And I'm
Like, they mama don't know they did that.
so how you cut school and go to the Waffle House and you posted it, and so now
Oh,
all
I
of
see
us
the
seen
time.
it. All of us seen it. All of us saw it. So now you in trouble because you left school to go to the Waffle House.
And you
But you
took a
posted
picture.
it.
You took a picture of your waffle.
You put a video up. You see what I'm saying? And so, and sometimes
Your
they
all-star
tell
special.
on themselves.
Come on, Antonio Brown.
Your all-star
Right,
special.
right. They tell on themselves, and you like, okay, I hate to say this, and I don't really say this in front of you, but how stupid can you be, man? You like, you went up there, you weren't caught, you almost made it back, but you posted yourselves in there, in the middle of the day, live.
And folks follow you.
We going live. Okay.
Cause I'm not hungry no more. Y'all look at my waffle.
Right, right.
It's good eating.
Why me put this syrup on them?
So y'all like parents, come on, get
Yeah.
reel it in.
Yeah.
Put a short. Hey, this is
Short
what put a short leash on them.
It takes a laser focus to really.
And it's hard because it's peer pressure.
Yeah.
It's peer pressure.
It takes a laser focus, and it's crazy. One of the things I love to do, being around the college guys and the pro guys, I like to always ask, and it's one thing I ask everybody, like, what made you different? How did you get here? And one of the things that pretty much to a man, everybody likes to answer, listen, I realized how much I loved doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want
anything.
I don't want to do nothing else
Right.
It's gonna
but
take it
this.
from me.
Right.
And a lot of people just like, they don't have that focus. I like doing this cool,
Yeah.
Right.
but I got some other stuff. I want to rap.
Right.
You
right.
know what I'm saying? I can draw.
Right.
I'm dead
I like
fresh.
to code a little bit.
You know what I'm
I like
saying?
to
Yeah,
code,
yeah. I'm fired at Fortnite.
Yeah,
they giving
yeah,
away
yeah,
$3 million for that. So I mean, but it takes a laser focus. Like say, you're in it, you're doing it, but again, how much do you love it?
I think that's why it's so important for kids to follow, going back to social media, to follow athletes and for athletes to show the real grind behind the grind.
Right.
Because sometimes, we look at the shining. We look
Yeah.
at the.
Oh, yeah, we love the
We
shining.
look at our baby.
Right.
Oh man, he whipping.
But
Look what he
when you
whipping.
see LeBron James getting up at 3:00 in the morning to go, work out before he shoots the movie,
And his kids outside shooting.
Right.
Like that's real.
Yeah.
That's love.
Because they see it.
Because they see.
They
it.
see, that what daddy doing.
And so
I gotta do it.
I gotta
too.
do it.
as a
too.
high
I wanna
school
make it.
athlete, if LeBron James still feels as if he has to get up
In year 17.
in year 17,
Why you don't think
What you
why
doing?
you don't think you have to?
What you doing? Oh, you good?
You straight.
Okay.
Oh, okay. But LeBron James, he's still working that hard. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for kids, for parents to take that narrative and to shape it that way.
Mhm.
And now he's not working out. He's not showing this because it was a cool moment for him to put on Instagram. This is his life.
Yeah.
Right? This is what he does. Like,
Yeah.
so are you willing to do those things?
Yep.
For you, it may not be waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. It may be you decided, you know what, I'm not going to skip school today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's you showing, that's the
I love
grind behind the grind for you. For everybody, it looks different.
Yep.
I think the kids, they don't realize that. They think that it's just you working out and that shows I love it. No. For you right now as a high school athlete, is you making the right decisions. When you're being pulled all over the place
That's why
and
I'm
make the
letting my
wrong
kids do it all.
decisions.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
I love
And then as you get higher up, you don't have, that's not your issue there,
Yeah.
right? Nobody's telling LeBron to make this bad decision. He has a circle around him where he's insulated and they help him.
Right.
Like everyone around him is helping
Somebody
him
should
make good
always
decisions.
check. Like
right.
it's always a check. No.
Right. So now for him, it's him getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. But for you at 17, it's you deciding not to go to Waffle House.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you in
Or to stay in class.
or to stay in class.
Or turning in your homework.
Or turning your work. Right. Or do it.
College,
Just
it
do
means
it.
something
Actually.
else,
How about you
right.
just try doing it?
So as parents, I think we have to take that narrative and shape it that way and let the kids know, I know you can go out and work out for 2 hours a day. Okay, but can you do your homework?
Right.
No.
That's the grind behind the grind for you at this stage in your life.
Yeah. And it's crazy because that leads to our last point. Because everything is about production. At the end of the day, talent level in the classroom and on the field is about production.
It is.
Good grades come from the hard work.
Yep.
What you put on the field on Friday night, when you in the gym on Tuesday, Thursday, when you hooping on the weekend, everything about production. When recruiters come in, they looking at the production of your grades.
Yep.
And when I cut this film on, what are you doing?
What are you
Are
doing?
you being productive? That's all it is.
That's it.
And the crazy part about it is you gotta have that grade piece first.
First and foremost.
Like the grade
Like,
piece is
nothing
knocking so many people
happens
out the
without
game.
it.
It's crazy.
Like I walk around sometimes, and I'm in different. Sometimes I'm in a different building. But I look at kids. I'm like, he should be playing football, and then somebody will say, he can't play.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he can't play, or he don't want to play. No, he can't. Them grades. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, look at your size. Like,
Yeah.
like if a scout saw you just based on
Yeah.
size alone,
Yeah.
he would show interest.
He
Right.
listen.
Just on
Right.
size,
Especially with a big
and,
body.
eye test.
Somebody gonna
Eye
give
test
you an
alone.
opportunity.
They gonna ask a question. Who is he?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're missing your opportunity. And I know
Because
everybody
grades.
doesn't want to play sports. I get it, but it's it's a way to go to school
Yeah.
and take things further than maybe your family ever
Right.
has or any.
Mhm.
People don't have money like that. It's
Yeah.
so expensive now.
Boy. Y'all been looking
Even
at
in state.
Y'all been looking at these
Yes.
prices.
Even in state. I look back at what I paid for Georgia State. I was like, oh yeah, I couldn't even pay that no more.
Oh no, it's crazy.
You better look
Yes,
at
right,
these
because you
prices.
got one.
Yes,
It's crazy.
bad.
Yeah, you better look at these prices.
But the kids, like, really, in high school, you have to not show up to not do. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it's so many opportunities for students to do well in high school, and coaches know that. So you're failing high school, and you have all of this at your disposal.
Right.
Like, how does that make
It's like you gotta
sense?
try harder to fail.
You have to try
than
harder.
you have to try
Exactly.
to pass.
I've always said it's like, if you're not walking around with a 3.0, you tripping.
You
Yeah.
tripping.
Especially in high school.
Like you tripping.
Like you're not even applying. I get to sit in front of the classroom shit.
Right.
For real. That's it.
An
really.
attempt.
It
That's it.
kills
That's
them.
it.
And I think
Turn your working on time.
this is what people don't understand about that grade piece too. That's why a lot of coaches if you got the bare minimum, you're not trying.
Yeah.
So that means that probably is
That's
gonna
the
carry
same
it on
thing
to
you
the
gonna give me.
field.
That's what you're gonna give me too.
Mhm.
Cause if you can't get the classroom, when I hand you this iPad or this playbook,
Right.
dude, like again, the field is just a classroom.
That's it.
Coaches are just teachers.
Right.
That's all. Your algebra teacher, she teach you algebra. Your coach, he teach you football.
Yeah.
And you
He's
have to
teaching.
be able to, if you can't understand the concepts that they're teaching, you're not gonna play.
Yeah.
That's why the grade thing, I think a lot of times parents like, well, he got a 2.5. You happy about that?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
if you don't have a 3.0 in high school, listen, I'm telling you, tripping.
And then the 2.5.
And there's so many resources available.
Right.
Gosh, in
And
high
the
school.
2.5, if he's a junior, that means that was freshman year, which is your easiest year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That means you take
That's
advantage
the
of
year,
it.
but that's the year everybody messes up
It
because
is.
it's a transition
It's
for
a
them.
but it's your 4.0 year. Your freshman year should be your 4.0 year. Because, baby, it gets harder. And that junior year is a monster for a lot of kids.
But I'm like the transition is hard.
It can be.
It's the transition is hard
Yeah.
for so many. I don't care how good of a student you are, how well of a student you are. It is a difficult transition to high school, and the reason why is because in most schools, especially public, you're given you go from no freedom to all the freedom. Nobody checking for you.
But let me ask you
I'm
this.
telling you, nobody's checking for them in high school.
But,
like that.
but let me just ask you, cause I mean, you guys are in the school system. I'm removed for a little while now. Like, at what point can we just rein them in and get them to understand? Like, listen, this is where you jump on it right here.
Mhm.
I talk to 8th graders all the time. I tell them. I tell their parents, and they get over there, and same thing every year. It's like the transition. I mean, you know, in 8th grade, they still walk them. Like, it's a walk to the cafeteria.
Yeah, they
you know,
have to
it's,
sit
and you're
in their
escorted.
class.
You're escorted. There's an
Yeah.
escort with you.
Mhm.
When classes change, it's still like an escort almost type process. And so then you get to high school and it's step out of the classroom and it's everybody, it's all 1,500 kids out there at the same time. So it's very easy to get distracted, off
It's a
your
party.
plan, forget about your goals. It just all goes, I don't know where, but I mean, it's a very hard, and I even saw it with Windsor in a private school, like the transition, even, and she had been there in 8th grade, the transition to high school, like she got, on a progress report, got a C, and I was like, what, you've always been all A's, what are you doing? And she was just like, Mom, I gotta figure some stuff out, because she was like, it's different, like, the teachers put more responsibility on the kids, but it's not a phase thing. Here, you gotta do this, and you gotta turn it in. And nobody is going to check your agenda to make sure, because we ain't writing that down. And now your parents don't need to send your agenda back signed. And, you know, you go from no freedom to an oasis of freedom.
Yep.
But it's gonna
And it's
be
difficult.
it's gonna be even freer in college.
I agree. But and that's why a lot of kids don't make it through their freshman year. There you go. That's why
But
we see some kids that come back.
But that's why you just said that you talk to your daughter, right? So that's what we're as parents.
Oh, you gotta have a conversation.
You gotta have the conversation. You gotta stay on their grades. Like, honestly, I don't even know why we send out progress reports anymore, because you can you could be at dinner and pull your kids.
Parent portal. I was on it today.
As a parent,
That's
not
the same
only
amount. What's the
girl,
amount?
well, they gonna mail them out. I think email them out. But you can not only see the grade, but you can see all the grades they have made.
All the assignments.
see it in real time.
In real
everything.
time.
You see it in real time.
As long as the teacher's publishing.
Yeah.
That's the other part. People don't realize sometimes you don't see stuff because the teacher hadn't published it. Then they want to publish a whole bunch of stuff at one time, and it either elevates
right.
Or it can drop.
Oh, it
If
can
it's
drop
a
the
lot of
grade.
grades at one time, it can drop. But as parents, like that 9th grade year, we have to stay on the kids,
You got
because
to.
they can't. When you're 14, like I'm thinking back to when I was 14, I couldn't see 4 years in the future. You know, that seemed like a long time away. When I'm a senior, that was a lifetime.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're thinking too. Like, they have these goals, but in their minds, they're thinking that I have enough time still to make the transition to get there. And then by the time they realize it, like the end of junior year going into senior year is too late. But when you're 14,
And
4
that's what
years,
happens.
that's a lifetime.
And that's it's funny both of you guys say that, and that's why I'm so glad I got y'all together. Because that's really what happens. They wake up and they juniors, or the junior has flown out their seniors, and now they want to take everything so serious. I'm like, dude.
Had a kid down. It's not enough credits. And he's like, oh, I want to play basketball and I want to go to school. And I was like, but you're not eligible.
Why you didn't know
Like,
that?
but you're not eligible.
Why you
right
didn't?
now.
Why you didn't know that 9th grade?
He's like, I know I messed up. Okay, that's a fact.
Facts.
What grade is he in?
Oh, he's so well. How many years has he been walking in the building?
So technically, he's
Okay, so yeah, technically, what is he?
He should be a senior.
He should be a senior. But
Look,
in reality,
Right now, he's running around with about.
he's a red shirt junior.
He might be a red and something shirt sophomore.
no.
Oh.
Cause it's what 5, 11, 17.
Yeah, for credit out.
So he's sophomore.
Oh no.
For 5, 11, 17 for GHSA. That's what you gotta have going into that beginning of that year to be qualified to play. You know, because so like for instance, basketball is 2 semesters, you gotta be
Right,
both
right.
semesters. So like coming into your sophomore year, you have to have earned at least 5 credits. Well, in our schools we can earn 8.
Mm-hmm.
So so you thinking, okay, so that I'll let y'all figure the numbers out, okay? But yeah, basically.
So to wrap up, everybody,
Yeah.
ninth grade
That's what I
year,
deal with.
get your mind right. Get your mind
So you don't have to
right.
deal with this and have to beg me to try and figure out how many classes you can take and get
Oh,
it back. Now you're trying to go to night
no.
school and stuff.
Oh no.
But you can't play basketball.
But you got to pass all your classes when history shows that you've never been able to do
Right. So now you can overload and do it when you couldn't do
that. But
it. when
you've
it was
never been
easy
able to do
load.
it. And I just I'm constantly having this conversation like
Yeah.
are you putting too much on yourself? Like you got to be honest as someone, are you putting too much on yourself?
Right.
And on that note, everybody, Recruiting 101 is a wrap. We'll see y'all next week.
See y'all.
For Wendy, Matt, Maceo,